One. Welcome to the In the Bank podcast this week, featuring your two hosts, myself, Rohan, and we also got Jackson. Fanger, Jackson, how you doing, boss?
Fantastic. Couldn't be better. It's Saturday. Fucking birds are chirping. It's pretty in the desert out here. Things are good, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling. So on this week's episode, we got couple things we want to talk about. We have Meghan Hall. She did her interview playing the victim. That's going to be an interesting one. And then we also have that teacher in Canada with the size Z titties. Never heard of before. She looks like Tim Dillon. But we actually got a DM from one of our 20 subscribers, which was awesome. Asking for a problem that they needed to help fixed. Jackson, if you have the DM open, what did they say to us?
Yeah, I got it right here. So this person who will leave anonymous just because we don't know if they want to be called out or not. But they said, yo, can I get your opinion on this? Just cold, which I respect. But they go, I've been going out with a super hot girl who is, all caps, really into astrology. In that shit. I kind of ignored all the hocus pocus until recently after we had sex, she started rubbing a crystal on my body. I was confused and asked why. She said, to align our energy, ? What should I do? So the long and the short of it is this guy's dating this girl. He thinks she's really hot. And she's a crystal chick, and after they banged, she rubbed it on his body to align their chakras or some shit and get them in the same spiritual plane of cohabitation existence. And he's kind of freaked out by that, as I would be too. I think that's a sign that you're in trouble. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for one, okay, so he said, I'm reading the DM right now. He said that she's super hot. So the question becomes for him, how much longer can he bear this, right? Everyone knows astrology chicks are crazy. But, I mean, if she's really hot, can you keep doing it? Because if I was taking a nap after having sex and I woke up to somebody rubbing one of their weird crystals on me, I'd flip, right? I'd go crazy. But, I mean, for him to be DMing us and asking us an opinion, I don't know how serious of an issue it is right now, so you need to keep us updated on how often she's doing it, get some more in-depth insight into what's happening. But, yeah, this bitch is crazy. You do not want to wife her up. Just keep hitting it, until it gets a little too crazy, and then, hopefully she doesn't murder you later.
See, listen, I think you're a young man. You're 22 years old. I've seen the world. I'm a little bit older, right? And so I could not disagree with you more. I think you're fucking batshit crazy. I think you're giving this guy terrible advice. And here's my take, okay? Listen, first of all, he doesn't really like her, right? Because he writes this and he goes, he doesn't say anything about her personality. He just says, "Oh, she's super hot," and then he goes straight into, but she's really into astrology, and he calls it "and that shit." So he doesn't respect her at all, right? And then he called it hocus pocus, which is fucking. So this guy, he's not invested at all. She's just hot, which I get, right? I totally get it. But like you're saying, it's not worth it. And another thing you're saying is like if someone's rubbing a crystal on you, after that, you would flip out in the moment. Don't recommend that because she might put a fucking curse on you and hex you and you're going to be possessed by a demon and you don't need any of that. So what I would say, my friend, is you need to fake an illness. So you need to... What? Yeah, you need to shave your head, shave your eyebrows, say you have, leukemia and you're in chemotherapy and just pretend you died and get the fuck out of there because... If she takes it as an affront to her, she's gonna put a hex on you, and you're gonna like poop weird for the rest of your life, and you don't need that. You might actually get leukemia, she puts a good enough curse on you. So you want to, I think that's what you do. That's how you get out of there.
Well, first of all, I'm going to disagree with that because, remember, these are those crazy hocus-pocus natural medicine type of females and stuff like that, right? So you're going to want to completely hey, move your mic. I can hear you breathing. You're going to want to completely stay away from – you don't want to fake an illness because she's going to believe with her hocus-pocus that she can fix the illness. All right, she's probably doesn't believe in Western medicine. She probably believes in like natural healing bullshit, and then she's probably going to want to get more involved. So if you come to her one day and it's like, "Oh, I have leukemia," all of a sudden she's going to recommend you to, I don't know, like one of those weird chiropractors who like hits a cowbell. You know what I mean? So, listen, keep digging her out. If she's super hot, you can, it's the equivalent of paper bag. Just buy some wireless headsets when you have sex with her, and then also. You know what? I'm going to take her side on this one a little bit. I think I might have to just a tad bit, and I'll tell you why. But what's your opinion? Because I don't think faking an illness is the right thing because she's going to want to help.
No, she's not. She's a crystal chick. They're by nature selfish. They deal in witchcraft and wizardry, and they're not interested in helping anyone else.
But
she's interested in helping themselves.
But
she'll just go on to the next.
These are these natural medicine chicks, bro. They're like, they believe.
Dude, there's some power to that shit, man. Like, how do you think they built the pyramids? They didn't have what we have now, right?
Okay, so you think getting a like a fucking, I don't know, like one of those like random medicines you see that like can claim they can, like those herb medicines, you think that should like that's the type of shit she would recommend, some like herb fucking medicine to like help cure his leukemia, and she's gonna want to be more involved in his life. And if you're saying that she needs to get the fuck out of his life, claiming faking an illness won't help, right? I would just say just fucking run. If you want to get out, just get out, run. But I just say keep hitting it until it's not fun anymore.
Well, if you run, listen. So if you run, she's gonna take it as an offense to her, and she's gonna hate you and curse you. Like you're gonna be like you're not gonna be able to walk on cracks. You know what I mean? And so. What I'm saying is if you make it a clean break to where, or you just, but you don't want her to, you can't, it's got to be a happy memory, right? And so if you do the leukemia thing, even if she wants to help, like that's just not going to cure your cancer. And so it even makes sense. Like you're going to die, right? Your hypothetical self is going to die. You're gone. It's not a problem anymore. As opposed to what you're saying. Another thing is, dude, continuing to bang this chick is a huge mistake.
Not if she's super hot.
Every time you,
not if she's super hot.
No, every time you do it, the emotional attachment becomes greater, and it becomes that much harder to get out. Maybe not for you, but for her. And then the more she's upset with you, like, if she's rubbing crystals on your body, like she's gonna curse not only you but your children, right? Your future children. She's gonna like put a fucking skeleton in your backyard and have it like watch over your children while they sleep, and like you're gonna be one of those like horror movies. It's like based on a true story. Is gonna be your life because you messed with this the wrong way. If she's like the crystals is like a gateway drug into like fucking dealing with the devil.
I think it's fair on her point though. Listen, if you think the bitch is crazy, go along. But I think the crystal thing, right? Like I would ask her why, but maybe. Like when we bust on a girl's head, right? Or like we bust on her face, this is maybe just the equivalent, the female equivalent of getting busted on. You know what I mean? Like yeah, I mean girls, like unless she like directly wants like squirt over your face, that's fine. Maybe she just can't do that. So I think it's fair. It's a fair 101 trade if you get a busted nut on her face and she gets a rub a crystal on your head. Right, I think that might be a fair trade-off. And like he said, you have to put emphasis on the word super hot. It's not fair because I think maybe it's a fair trade-off. So I don't know. Listen, dude, keep banging her, right? If she gets really weird and she like starts like throwing like she starts getting like kinky with like dream catchers, go bug her. But keep putting it in there, right? See if she would let you put it in her ass, right? And if she does, she might be a keeper. Otherwise,
What? What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, there was a little bit of a technical difficulty, but so if she lets him put it in the ass, right? Because I always feel like girls who are like, because then you get a good understanding of how much of like a hippy dippy chick she is, if she lets you put it in the ass, right? Because if she says something like, I have to see if the stars align before I let you shove it in there, then that's crazy. But she's like, yeah, I'm just down with it, dude. She's your side piece. Just keep hitting it. So, you got to kind of see on a scale how willing she is to let you put it in the ass.
This is terrible fucking
this
advice.
This is incredible advice. If she lets you,
this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, this is he said super hot, right? That was the first thing before he said. Let me see. Yeah, that was the first thing he emphasized. He said super hot. All right,
dude. If he's not bullshitting us and he can actually get with someone who's quote super hot, he can get with another one who's not a fucking psycho.
Maybe this.
Why does he need to stick with the psycho?
I don't know. Maybe like this is his. Maybe he's like a 4 and he got a 10.
Dude,
let him eat.
Dude, that's not how it works.
Let him eat.
He needs to get out of there.
No, let him eat.
Let him eat something else.
Before you quit, ask.
This is an old stale sandwich that's gonna. This is an old stale sandwich with crystals in it. You don't want that. It tastes terrible. This is.
Let her
get out of there, dude.
Let her put it. No.
It's not worth it.
You gotta let her at least try. Like at least give it a. All right, if she says yeah, you can put it in the ass, right? Okay. How about we blend our two ideas? He puts it in the ass. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Hooks up with her 1 or 2 more times, and then he fakes leukemia.
Dude, I don't understand why the ass thing is such a big. I don't understand. Like, why what does this have to do with anything?
If she says yes,
I think you're superimposing your own desires onto this guy. He said nothing in his question about wanting to put it in the ass, and you're like, dude, put it in her ass. Put it in her ass. I don't know if he wants to do that. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, then in that case, she should be breaking up with him. You know what I mean?
Dude, and also she's a crystal chick. You know she doesn't like wipe down there. It's probably hairy as shit. Like you don't want to get in there.
That's just called texture. That's just texture.
That's gross. That's what that is. It's fucking gnarly. We don't need to get into fucking pubic hairs again, but fuck, dude, that's gross.
Bro, see, you're assuming shit now too. You're telling me I was assuming the anal thing. Now you're assuming like, maybe she does get it waxed, And if he's hooking up with her,
the astrology chick with crystals is getting her shit waxed.
She might be.
The one, probably not.
Well, I mean, he's hooking up with her, right? And
she's probably wearing Birkenstocks and has fucking dreadlocks.
Well, okay, he said super hot. Come on, bro. No super hot chick looks like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it might be subjective. Maybe this guy's into it. Maybe he had like a babysitter when he was a kid. He sort of gave him a good time, and like he's been chasing that for the rest of his life. Who knows, right? We don't know. We don't really know.
Well, in that case, we can't help this guy, bro. Then he's on his own. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fucking problems if that's the case. And this is one of them, which is I think he needs to get out of there. Like it's just not. It's not worth it.
Maybe
bro.
This is
get out of there.
Maybe this is beyond the chick. Maybe this is his own issue, right?
Exactly. Yeah, get out of there, dude. Well, that's the thing. Like if you're the kind of person who like ends up, like banging the crystal chick, like you got to look at your own life too. Like what did I do to get to this point? You made a few decisions along the way, and then people don't just start rubbing crystals on your naked body like out of nowhere, right? You made some decisions along the way, so I'd say look at your own life a little bit, my friend, and while you're doing that, get out of there. I don't think it's worth it for me personally, but maybe if you're really into butt stuff like Rohan is over there, you can try that. Who fucking knows, man? But I really appreciate this guy asking.
For real.
I don't know what makes him think we're qualified to give advice. I don't know. But, dude, if you have any updates, if anything happens with this, let us know. I'm very curious to see what you do.
Yeah, and anybody else, to the tens of people who may be listening, if you have another question, do DM us, right? We'll start off every episode with the funniest one. Hey, thank you for the question, by the way. Anyway, I actually want to kind of transition into something similar. it just came up off the top of my mind. I actually had a friend who's not really a friend. There was a kid in my high school. Speaking of a fucked up relationship, there was this guy in my high school who actually did fake his own death. My junior year, he was a year older than me. He faked his own death because he got in an argument with his girlfriend, and he wanted her to feel bad. So it's a funny story.
How old were they?
It was my junior.
Yeah, how old were all you guys?
Junior, senior year. So we were like 16, 17. Yeah.
So what did he do? Yeah, tell me what he did.
All right. So this was during winter break of my junior year. Okay. He was a senior. It was his winter break, his senior year, and his girlfriend, I think, was a junior at the time. Pretty much, from what I know, him and his girlfriend got into an argument. So he pretended to get into a fatal car crash in Northern California, right? And then he downloaded one of those fake phone numbers and pretended to be his mom and was texting with the girl, like, updates when he was literally just at home doing nothing, right? Just lying to everybody. So then...
Whoa.
Yeah. So then his girlfriend at the time messaged me saying, do you have any updates? This, that, the third. And I was like, I really don't know what happened. Let me talk to we were on the football team, right? So let me talk to the football coach, see what's happened. He was like, we can't find anything. And then I remember one time at like 3 a.m, I get a message, right? And I didn't read it on Twitter. And then I look in the morning and it's like, so it turns out this guy was faking the whole thing. He downloaded some app to get fake phone number, pretended to be his mom to give updates on what's happening. And then also he went in our football group chat and pretended to be his girlfriend giving an update. But it was really just him. So he lied to a shit ton of people. And they called the police. And his car was literally parked outside of his apartment, scratch-free. Nothing happened. And because they wanted an update, they didn't know what was happening, so they called the cops. Like, "Hey, what's his medical?" Because we were told he was like in critical condition. So his car was outside of his apartment, and so he lied. So the big gaps in the story was, first, he said he got in a car crash in San Francisco and got airlifted to Los Angeles. Okay, no helicopter has that much fuel.
Okay. To go. Well, and why would you have to go all the way to L.A.? San Francisco's got plenty of doctors.
Yeah, like great hospitals too, like just the Stanford Medical,
absolutely.
UCSF, great medical facilities. So that was the first big thing, and we should have caught this earlier because
how many days did it last? Like the ruse.
2 weeks, maybe a week, 2 weeks.
No shit. So you thought he was like in a hospital for 2 weeks?
Dude, this is not like when somebody says they're in critical condition, you don't question like the little details of what's. You're like just
for sure. But like, was he not going to school the whole time?
It was winter break. It was we get a month off. Remember, we got a month off during winter break at this time.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck is his end game there? You know,
we don't know. We just don't know. The dude.
Like, is he just going to show up and be like, gotcha? Like, you guys should have treated me nicer, huh? That's weird, dude. That's weird.
Yeah, and it was, like, the funky thing about... So, yeah, I just don't remember what happened after. I think we, like, all told him. Like, I was like... Okay, actually, I remember what happened. So after that whole debacle, once we, like, found out he was lying and he confessed to it, we all went on Twitter and started tweeting out the snake emojis.
It's the most high school shit.
Dude,
it's so fun.
Yes, I think we all did that. Then I think I talked to him. I'm not going to mention his name, of course, but there's some other stuff I want to talk about. I'll tell you off camera, but I'm not going to bring it online. But like, in case he sees it. But I mean, I wasn't his friend after. I thought he was a fucking weirdo. Right, I thought he was kind of a weirdo.
Well, yeah, he faked his own death.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to know what that fight was about. You think, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that'd be some good detail.
Like, between him and the girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, Because I think I remembered you told me the story before. Like, didn't like you and your friends like figure it out with her, sort of thing, like over time?
Okay, so one of my friends was getting a little skeptical in our group chat, right? But we all were just like, we were all just kind of shutting it down. It's like, yo, it doesn't matter what happened. Let's just, hope he's okay. Like, he was like, yo, because he was like saying like, yo, dude, you can't, why the hell would he get in a car crash in San Francisco and then have to take an 8-hour fucking helicopter ride, get airlifted to Los Angeles when he's like in critical condition? And everyone was like, dude, calm down. We don't know what happened. Maybe it was later. Maybe just his family. We just, like, we were just like, I don't know. And then, I remember his girlfriend his ex-girlfriend just DM'd me, was like, a just big ass paragraph explaining everything. And, I think like, I don't know that. So that's why, going back to your thing, I don't think the leukemia thing works, right? You gotta do something else.
Well, see, here's the difference. Is I see what you're saying, like, but this guy, like, we don't know what the fuck his end game was, because he's got to show up to school after winter break, right? So it's like,
I was his first period.
He's gonna come back and
I was first period. With him.
So like, does he come back and be like, oh no, I'm fine, it all worked out?
I actually...
Dude, that's hilarious.
He was actually a good sport about it, because, I talked to him. I was really nice. Like, I felt kind of... Right? I was not going to be like a dick. Like, I thought the thing was kind of funny, right? And I talked to him. I remember... So we had morning period, like the... You know how there's, like, first period and then, like, A1 period, like the one before first period? So we had a graphics design class, like our art class, our art thing, and I remember he sat next to me, and I was like, yo, how was your winter break? He was like, oh, well, I faked my death. I thought it was funny, right?
That's pretty funny.
But he just, I don't know. I was just not his friend after that. He did some other weird shit. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's an odd critter for sure. Yeah. Hopefully he's doing better now. But I feel like what it might have been is like you ever like tell a lie, you know what I mean? And then it's like, instead of just saying like, oh, I lied, like you got to keep covering it up. And it just keeps going and going until like... No, not really. So like, here's an example, right? So growing up, my brother, okay, was a fucking annoying little shit. Love him to death, but like to get him to shut up a lot of the time, I'd put him in a headlock and I'd like kind of, just like wait till he calmed the fuck down, right? It's like, hey, I'm in control here. You know what I mean? And one time I did it and he stopped talking, right? And so I let him go. But I must have had like a sick rear naked choke on him, because when I let go, he was unconscious. And he fell to the floor and split his head wide open, like wide open. And then he went, and I'm like, immediately, I'm like, fuck, like, did I just kill my brother? Like, shit, I might have just killed him. So I'm freaking out. And he wakes up and starts crying. And my mom's in the other room, and she hears him crying, and like, she was fucking pissed because we'd fight all the time, right? And she screams, what the fuck is going on? Fuck, god damn it, you piece of fucking shit, kids. She comes out all pissed because like she thinks, we beat the shit out of each other again. And so she comes out, and it's like I have a split second decision, right? To be like, well, Mom, I choked him out and he split his head open, or what I decided to do is be like, oh, he just fucking fell. I don't know what happened. And because he had, I don't know, so I used to do jiu-jitsu, and there are a couple times where like you get choked out and you lose consciousness. You have like short-term memory loss for a little bit. Like you don't know what happened, and then it starts coming back to you. You know what I mean? Oh. And so I'm like, he fell. I have no idea what happened, and he doesn't remember. So he's like, yeah, I fell. It's totally... And so, but my mom's like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you like, do you have epilepsy? So we had to go to the ER and get him tested for all this shit. And while we're in the ER, I just keep lying. I'm like, yeah, he must have been like dehydrated or something. And you just keep lying and lying and lying to save the other lie, Yeah. But when we got home, I thought I got away with it like completely. And then my brother comes in my room and he like does this with his hands, does a little choking thing. And then just walks away. And so he like blackmailed me with that for years. Did
your mom ever
like
find
whenever
out?
It was time to take out? We told her like a year ago. So this probably happened like 7 or 8 years ago, and then we told her like last year, and she didn't think it was funny. We were like, we got to wait till she thinks it's funny, and then she didn't think it was funny. But whenever it was time to take out the trash, he'd just look at me and do like the choke thing, and I'd be like, "Fuck, I got it, guys." You know, it was the worst.
What a great brother you are. Let me take it out for you this time.
Yeah, I got it, guys. Totally. He's a little fuck. He blackmailed me for years.
I mean, you owe us up, bro. You haven't killed the dude, bro.
No, he was fine. He got a little. I think he might have had to get stitches.
Well, yeah, his head split open.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like right over the eye, I think.
Oh.
He had his head split open a couple times. There was one time and we were playing basketball. No, he was playing at the YMCA, and he just dove for a ball, and his face went right into a bleacher.
Oh, that's happened to me before. Yeah.
Yeah, he got fucked that time. He was young too.
That's good though. I mean,
kid's unreal.
At least he like took accountability later down the line. I wanted to. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we were talking.
It was once the statute of limitations passed. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Facts.
Yeah. We
need OJ to fucking. I hope once OJ's passed, bro. I just want him to just confess everything. You know.
Dude, I want to be there on his deathbed. Like, I'm actually, dude, I'm wearing, you can't see because of the way we're doing the cameras, but I'm wearing an OJ shirt right now. It says the juice is loose, and it's got a Ford Bronco on it. So, big OJ fan. If he sees this, OJ, we'd love to have you on as a guest. Like, you're honestly you're my dream guest of anyone in the fucking planet. OJ Simpson. I'm a huge fan. Love the Naked Gun. Love what you did at USC and the Buffalo Bills, and I love what you did that night in Los Angeles. And the ability of you to get away with that, incredible. Like, one of the most successful humans in the history of the world in multiple facets, right?
Facts.
He's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's a Swiss Army knife.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dominated multiple facets of life. And so I would love to sort of get some, perspective and, like, apply some of that to my life. But anyways, right. What were you saying about OJ?
No, I mean, I was just kind of saying, like, I would love to have OJ on too as a guest. And by the way, I'm not OJ. If OJ, you somehow do see this, the thing I'm curious about how you got away with was 2,000 yards in 14 games. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
I was not. Nothing else. I don't know what else you could have.
There's that other thing that you were acquitted for, and the
trophies, right? When he stole the trophy thing. I think that was the thing. Yeah, nothing else. But just OJ. Just how did you get away with 2,000 yards? Was it 14 games or 15 games, right?
Yeah, he slashed up those defenses.
Incredible. I
think there was a defensive coordinator named Nicole who was very upset. Another named Ron. They were both, I think they were coordinated both the LA teams, so he slashed them up pretty good. Big OJ fan, I think.
You can't see him. You think he's there. You think he's at one spot in one place, and then he's there the other place. You know what I mean? He's just elusive. Can't catch him.
Yep.
What a fucking phenomenal talent, man.
Well, what else is crazy about him is he's my favorite Twitter follow because he goes on there and first of all, he doesn't ever tweet like words. He like records himself like in a selfie camera. And my favorite part about it is like he tells people how to live their lives. You know what I mean? Like the audacity to do that to me is so fucking funny.
I mean,
it's so funny.
2,000 yards in 14 games. That's you got to take advice from the guy who's once known as the Juice. You know what I mean?
Right. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like he's like, you guys should, really come together and like, this country needs to, really band together and like vote for the right person. He tells people how to vote a lot. Like, it's crazy that he thinks like anyone wants his advice. It's so funny to me. It's my favorite follow because like he goes on there and you can just completely tell like he's the kind of guy who would kill two people. Not that like that's anywhere on the radar.
He's never done that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the kind of guy who would kill two people and then like go play golf for the rest of his life and have no guilt about it. Like you can totally tell that that's his personality because he goes on there and just is like, you should do this. And it's like, Why are you telling me what to do, man? It's so funny. It is. I love it so much.
He's also an author.
It cracks me up every time.
He's also an author.
Yeah, he wrote. So once he was acquitted, right? He made his life's mission to find the real killer of his ex-wife and that waiter. And so what he did to make sure that happens is wrote a book called If I Did It, and he goes into detail about what he would have done to kill them, and it turns out matches up pretty well. So I mean, it's a help to law enforcement. You know, he's doing that too. He's a pretty solid, civil servant, and I guess he got an APB on the real killer. Thinks he's like a homeless guy hiding out on a Vegas golf course because that's where he spends all his time is golfing in Vegas.
Dude, what hasn't OJ done? Elite NFL player, actor, true crime guy, documentaries made about him.
Yep.
Father, right?
Yep. You know what else he's done? He's financially extremely savvy. So the reason he lives in Vegas, right, is because so when he was going through the civil trial, he had these great lawyers, right? And so he was acquitted in the criminal trial, so he doesn't go to jail, right? But then the families of the departed sued him for wrongful death, right? And in a civil trial, the burden of proof isn't as high, so he was found guilty and owes them a shit ton of money for the wrongful death of those two people, right? And so what he did was invested all the money he had in his NFL pension, and now he gets paid on the pension. And because he lives in Vegas, there's like loopholes in the state law or something that like pension money isn't seizable by the government. So like he hasn't paid them a dime of what he owes them, and that's why he lives in Vegas, because he like found some loopholes and
financial advisor.
So financially, yeah.
What an elite!
Could be a lawyer,
lawyer, athlete, actor. Just a whole bunch of things, man. What a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, and on top of all that, he's one of the scummiest scumbags of all time. Like, it's incredible. He's pinnacled so many different avenues and pillars of life. Like, it's incredible.
Maybe he got away with everything because like there's like a cop like Meghan Hall. He just fucked her, just dicked her down.
Well, part of the reason he got away is because the cop who found all the evidence was like a hardcore Nazi.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like he had like Nazi memorabilia in his house, which is nuts. It kind of makes the Rodney King shit make sense. Like if he was an LA cop during that time, it's like, okay, I could see how that would happen. If he's like, hey, him and all his buddies are responsible for law and order, it's like, okay, starting to connect the dots here. Makes sense how this happened.
Oh, bro, dude, cops in America are just a different breed sometimes, man.
I mean, yeah, it sucks because there really are good ones. Like my friend does it, or he did it. I think he's trying to do like a fighter cop hybrid thing. He's a great human. I was thinking about doing it for a little bit. It's a good profession. Good people need to do it, but it seems like there's a lot of fucks who do it too. And
couple
not
thoughts
only
now.
like racist dudes. Yeah, not only racist dudes, but it sounds like there's some real whores that get into it as well, which is crazy.
Let's revisit that. That was kind of one of our best combos. So a couple weeks ago, we released our episode about is Meghan Hall the greatest cop of all time, and we came to the conclusion that her fucking police is keeping them. That post-nut clarity is a real thing. So her fucking all these cops is helping reduce police brutality, essentially. I might need to retract my statement. I'm going to retract it. So she had an interview, Meghan Hall. Meghan Hall had an interview where she pretty much played victim. and she was like, I'm receiving threats and being called names. Yeah, you were the team thought, of course we are going to call you names. It's hilarious. You know, I couldn't watch the whole interview because I can't watch. It's like a Whitney Cummings comedy special. I just can't watch a woman talk about.
Fuck you for that.
I can't watch a woman talk about sex, play victim for like 30 minutes straight. But pretty much the gist I got out of the interview, and I may be completely wrong, was that she played victim, and she's saying it's everybody else's fault that this happened.
Yeah, so I agree with you because I was on board. I think there was a point where you said you kind of went too far for me, but in terms of I think you were talking about the ones in schools. But in terms of consenting adults, I was like, yeah, all for it. Let's have some, fucking barracks bunnies hop up in the police officer's place too. But if she's not about that and she's like trying to see, this is why she needs a PR team, right? Because any good PR team could see the value of what she was doing and be like, hey, you need to lean into this. And like everyone does today, right? They get their 15 minutes of fame, and it's about whether or not you convert that into sustainable. And so what she could have done is been like, hey, I'm a little kinky little slut muffin, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to service the police across this country and really, contribute to actionable change. And she decided not to do that. She decided to backpedal. And sometimes, in this day and age, right, there's a lot of apologies where there doesn't need to be. And I think she should have said, no, I am daddy's little slut, and I'm going to continue to suck off these cops because they need it. And if she did that, I would be right behind her, supporting her in every step of the way. I'd probably donate to the company that she starts to do it, right? But now it's like, I'm like, she's just she's a fucking victim. And it's like this, I'm also sick of these fucking people going on the internet and being like, the South Park just did the episode about the Prince and Meghan Markle, right? But it's like, they're like, listen, I want you to leave me alone, so I'm going to come out and do this interview where I play the victim. It's like, no one's stupid enough to think that like, oh, I'm going to come and cry on 60 Minutes and it's all going to go away. Like, it's only going to get worse.
I think with Meghan Hall, going off your point, she should have doubled down, made the OnlyFans, because there was a lot of January 6th rioters who would have bought that shit. She could have made it back. Her husband doesn't seem to care. He's obviously a cuck, right? It is. Let's just call it what it is. I'm not even saying that as an insult. He's a cuck. He doesn't care. They have an open relationship. Go make that OnlyFans. Go chase the bag, like you said. Go on 60 Minutes. Say yes, I am a slut. I like sucking off cops. Right? She's not attractive. I couldn't watch, but I know there's some dirty trailer trash people who would be fapping to that very happily. Very happily. So what she should have done, and this is what I was kind of alluding to about her making a difference, go fuck some trailer trash. Go fuck some racist cops. Let's make the world a better place. She made this about herself, and I'm not a fan of hers anymore. I was a really big fan. I'm just not a fan of hers after that interview. It kind of sucked. I can't even lie. I was like, damn, I was really rooting for her. I would have maybe even supported the OnlyFans.
You know what the difference is?
What's the difference?
So she backpedaled, right? She did this thing, and she backpedaled. You know who didn't backpedal?
Who?
OJ fucking Simpson.
He made a book. Go capitalize.
And we're sitting here.
Go capitalize.
I'm wearing a goddamn T-shirt about the guy because he didn't back down.
Go capitalize.
She should not have backed down. Yeah.
He made a book.
I have a jersey. I wear it skiing. I'm a big fan.
Bro, go make the OnlyFans. She would have made phenomenal cash. Yep. You wanted to be a millionaire overnight.
Start the foundation.
Exactly.
For stressed out cops.
This is what real change is.
Yeah. And this is, I'm not necessarily one of these like new age like hippies, that's like, listen, you have to live your authentic life and be yourself. But In this case, she is daddy's little cum
Facts.
slut, right? And so she could step into that role, be who she is, and do a service, right? But now it's like, no, I want to be like everyone else. Fuck everyone else. Go fucking put those things in your mouth, butt, and vagina. Fucking
the
go.
one
go.
thing I do respect about that mother who had the OnlyFans who got her kid kicked out of school, it's like she's just fucking doubled down on it. She's like, yeah, I did it. So what? I'm not a fan of the decision. I'm not a fan of women making OnlyFans, but I am a fan of people being authentic. Her son's going to get bullied. Let's keep it a buck.
Yep. She's fucking her son up. Yeah.
And the school
100%.
did a favor by kicking her son out of the school so he doesn't get bullied. But at least she owned up to it.
By not backing down, she put the onus on the school to make a decision where they can't really be right either way. You know what I mean? You know, she's like, listen, I'm going to live my life. You do what you want to do about it. And they're like, So is she, is she a stupid little fucking minx?
Facts.
Yeah, she is. But she won. She won that interaction by fucking standing her ground.
Yeah. All right, another thing I know.
Just like Zimmerman sued his brother.
All right, chill out. All right, another chill out. We're not going there. Another thing, speaking about schools. So Tim Dillon's lookalike. So this is how okay. Let me give a quick disclaimer. All right, we're gonna make a full clip out of this. So let me give a quick disclaimer to all the fucking Gen Z people who are going to get all offended by everything. I do not fucking care about reading the article fully, because I have better things to do in my life than to read a story about a transgender person with giant size Z titties who shows up to school wearing them and then outside of school looks like Tim Dillon. So let me break down this story. There was a transgender.
Be nice to Tim.
Yeah, well, Tim even said that person looks like her. Okay, the man version. All right, so this is how I think the story is. So there is a transgender woman who has size Z titties who is a teacher in a school in Canada where all the fucked up shit happens, right?
Yeah.
Now, outside of school, they found that same person dressed up as a man without the prosthetic titties walking around normal. The person, the teacher, said that she has size Z titties because of some disease and that she can't control it. And then you see the Tim Dillon lookalike who is apparently the same person. Now, like I said, I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to go investigate this. I am going to just look at what Twitter was saying, right, and get my information from there. But, dude, you can't be a teacher with size Z titties. That's ridiculous. You can't do it.
With the fake ones. Like, listen, if you're one of those people with bad backs, you're walking around some big old jugs, and that's just who you are, and that's fine, right? Like, those kids got to deal with that. And I'll tell you what, those kids in your class, those dudes are not going to be focusing to anything you're saying. They'll be staring at those cans the whole time. But if you're wearing fake ones for kids,
that's creepy.
That gets a little weird. It gets a little strange. I don't know what the goal is there. I don't know.
Well, remember,
I don't want to offend any minor attracted people, but that's kind of fucking weird.
You know what? I'm kind of thinking about it. Remember 2 weeks ago we said that to prevent school shootings, right, for 18+ schools only, for colleges, to prevent college shootings, that they need to introduce a brothel to help these weirdos get laid, right?
Yeah, you said that. This is where I backed off. I was like, all right, chill out.
All right, well, I said pretty much if we, 18+ only, disclaimer, 18+ only, if we start putting...
Okay. I get behind that.
If we start putting brothels in, like, these universities or whatever, and instead of a school counselor for the weirdo, just throw them in the brothel. They will have less of a desire to fucking go hurt someone. And honestly, they're gonna go from wearing the all black to like colorful T-shirts, wearing some nice brand new kicks. That's just my opinion. I think this is where she fucked up. I think she's trying to implement something of the same nature. I don't know what grade these kids are, so I'm gonna assume. Let's just assume it's like 12th grade. So they're all 18 at this point. Let's just assume like 12th grade.
Okay.
They're all 18. I don't know how old. If it's anything less, ignore it. It's creepy. But let's assume 12th grade. I think she just thinks she's maybe preventing school shootings by showing jugs.
Well, listen.
And she's not doing it correctly.
By the way, dude, just as a side note, the fucking nipples on those things, I hope we put up a picture, but
Feels like crazy. She's very cold.
It's an interesting
Very
choice.
cold.
It's
Very cold.
it's an
Very
interesting
cold in
choice.
Canada around this time of the year. Very cold.
Yeah.
Especially
fuck. Uh,
for some prosthetic ones, bro. Like those are some wet T-shirt contest type nipples. Like those are legit. You know, if those were on a,
it is what it looks like.
those are legit. Like those are pepperonis. Yeah.
So, but to get to your point, right? Like if there's no, because if she walks in with these fucking size Z titties, right, and she's trying to help people focus, it's the opposite of what you need to do. It's like there's going to be no attention paid to her. Like she's going to have to go in, everyone's going to have to like rub one out first so they can have like that clarity and be like, all right, now I can focus. But if she's walking in there with those things, even if you're not in the big, because they don't look great, you know, like I'm not, but you're looking at them the whole day.
Yeah.
You are. It's like biology. So I went to an all boys high school, and my sophomore year, I have math class, and I go into first period, and there's a new teacher, and she walks in, and she's, you know, a very pretty person. She's very good looking, and I didn't learn a fucking thing that year. Not one.
So this is counterintuitive.
I didn't learn a goddamn thing in math class that year because all I could think about was like fucking this math teacher, and I was like, shit, like. And I started doing weird shit. Like there's a song called "Hot for Teacher" by Van Halen. I would play that. It's about, you know, some guy wanted to bang his teacher, and I would play that out of my phone when I walked into class every day. I probably did it like 50 times, and like that's all I could think about. And it was the first part of my day, right? So
is this why you were an English major? You just she fucked up math for you?
I mean, I didn't like math before that. I mean, yeah, but this didn't help. I'll tell you that. It didn't help at all. And the thing is, I don't know, because I wasn't listening to the math lessons, but I think she's really smart. Like I think she really knows what she's talking about. She had a really cool job before that, but I wasn't paying fucking attention. And I can tell you, all my buddies in there, they weren't either. We didn't learn a fucking thing, not one.
Dude, I just couldn't imagine this teacher with like these size Z titties, just like going around, just knocking everything over, right? Like, how does she, like, what? Like, it must be really easy to cheat in that class, dude, because she can't go in between the seats and see who's like on the phone, right? She gotta.
Yeah. There's no. I used to teach. You call it patrolling. There's none of that.
She just has
none of that. She's standing up there, chest out. You know. All right, class. Fucking. Well, it's shop class too, right? Isn't it shop class that she teaches?
That?
It's like making stuff out of wood and clay, I think. I saw it was shop class. And so how is she even working with her hands? It's like she probably can't see what she's doing with them. You know what I mean? I don't know if she's qualified.
Yeah, how could she be teaching like clay and like maybe that's what these titties are? Maybe it's just a bunch of clay and wood, and she designed it.
Well, if she made those, she's definitely qualified. I take everything back.
Maybe,
you know?
maybe just people weren't interested in the class before. Now it's like this is like a PR stunt to get people in there.
I mean, I'd sign up for shop class. I'd go just to see what what they look like in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, whoa. Because those photos, it's like her torso.
That's
Like the whole torso or their torso. I don't know what their fucking
it was like
things
two
are, but,
midgets in a beanbag, bro. Those things are ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like what it literally looks like, that big beanbag you have in your
two love
apartment?
sacks. Yeah.
It looks like just one of those got like split in half and they just shoved it up their shirt.
Those are some serious things, man.
It's crazy.
I wouldn't be able to focus. Yeah.
They're huge.
I would not be able to focus.
So were they trying to say like it was that they were real to the school?
She was trying to say that the titties were real and that she had some disease that makes them go that big.
But they're real, is what the argument
That's
was.
what her argument is, yes.
Okay. I think... So that's a weird thing to lie about.
But then later she got caught walking around dressed up like a guy looking like Tim Dillon.
And so they're like, hey, why are you lying about your tits?
That's a lot of calcium, dude. That's a lot of calcium in there.
Calcium?
Whatever, yeah. There's a lot of... Dude, that's a lot of formula, She can make a lot of bottles.
It's a lot of milk, yeah. You get some strong bones on those kids.
A lot of milk.
They grow up nice and tall. Did you like milk growing up?
Yeah,
Were you
I like milk.
Kid? I would have milk, but I'd drink it with ice.
That's not bad.
I'd have ice milk.
Bad.
But if I have it now, it's fucking gnarly because it's like all watered down. But when I was growing up, I love that shit.
How much for you to suck?
Yeah, she's
How much
got
for
some
you to
cans.
suck on one of those?
Well, what are they made of?
All right, let's break down like a mix. Let's say so she teaches like shit about clay. So we'll say 20% clay, 20% plastic, 40% artificial fat, which came from beef tallow, and then we'll say 20% is just like a bunch of like other like chemicals, like all the medical shit, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll say that's what these titties are made out of, and when you suck them, you get like what type of milk are we taking out? Like what would you imagine if you suck on one of her titties? Like what type of fluid is coming out of that? Like what type of milk?
It's probably soy
milk. Yeah, like a chunk. Is it like a chunkier soy milk?
Yeah, because it's like soy milk is useless. Like no one should ever drink it, and so it's the same. It's like fake. So it's
some
not.
soy milk.
I think it's soy milk.
Because that's like those nipples are udders, man. Those are udders.
Or like off-brand Dr. Pepper, like the shitty version.
Like Walmart, yeah. It's soy milk from Walmart. That's what we'll say. It's Walmart soy milk. It's not even Almond Joy. It's like Walmart soy milk.
And it's been sitting in there without a refrigerator.
Yeah, so,
you know what I mean? It's been sort of
getting a little chunky. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Getting them.
So how long? So the question is how much?
Let's say you have to suck a glass, like a good glass of milk out of those things.
It's like 8 ounces, like an 8 ounces cup.
Yeah.
Like a USADA serving size of a cup. And here's the big thing:
you gotta wear a bib.
is this individual? Okay, that's fine. I don't mind that. But is this individual wearing them at the time, or are they just
no?
out,
They're wearing
like,
it. Well, we're gonna assume
table?
that they're. We're gonna assume that like those are real, not real, but they're like actually attached to her.
Okay.
Right? Like those are like. Okay. We're gonna assume she's not lying, right? But let's just say like,
And is this person, guiding me along? Are they giving me like, ooh, that hurts? Or are they just quiet, like just stoic and not even noticing I'm there? Like, are they going to say shit to me? Or do I just have to close my eyes, go suck the shit out, and be done?
She's a teacher, so she's going to be kind of treating you like a kid.
Okay. Do I have to pretend like I'm into it?
Yeah.
Like, is she the one who's paying me? And she's like, if you don't like it, I'm not going to pay you.
No.
Like,
I'm
is it one of
paying.
those?
So we'll say pretend like I'm paying, or some like weird, like really rich Saudi billionaire with like this weird kink.
So you're going to want to get the laugh out.
No.
of it,
So no.
So I'm going to have to kind of
so
sell
the Saudi billionaire with like this weird kink, and he said, "Listen, I'll pay you whatever, but you need to do this in front of me." And like, you got to like actually act like a baby. So you got to go like, mommy, I'm full. Like, yeah. Like, and then you gotta, I don't know if you know, like when a baby, exactly. Like when a baby is like hungry, wants to breastfeed, then they put that like that. You have to like do that before. Like you're full on it.
Yeah, I gotta like reach out with my hands.
Have your mouth open, like when a baby, it's like once like they like it's like they it's like yawn. It's like they have to do like the little yawn thing. Yeah, so you gotta do that.
So, and I have to get like burped after.
Yeah, you gotta get burped after. Maybe a little vomit might come out. Right, it's the whole experience.
Gross.
You're in a diaper.
This guy, this Saudi guy's in the room jerking off too.
We'll call it like this. He has like a window,
or is it like Squid Game? Like he's in a different room.
It's like a blacked out window where you can't see him, but he can see you. Yeah.
Fuck. This is a hard one. Because it's like very degrading, and I value my dignity a lot. But if you throw enough money at me, I'm daddy's little boy, you know what I mean? Like everyone's got their number, so I'm trying to think of what my number is. Like if a Saudi guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, listen, man," or if like let's make it like fucking Squid Game, right? I get kidnapped on the street, and they're like, "Hey, I want you to do this. If you don't want to do it, you can go home. Fine, be your poor stupid self, right? But you have an opportunity here to really change your life, and we're offering you." I wouldn't do it for $100K. 200, probably not. 250.
Ugh.
Just because it's like if I think it'd be hard for me to look at like if they had the briefcase, and they pop open the briefcase and there's $250,000 looking back at me. I think it might be hard for me to say no to that. I think I'd be it. It would depend on my, I guess my mood. Like how much do I hate myself that day? Like if I'm feeling pretty down, and it's like God, I'm such a piece of shit. It's like fuck it, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But if I'm like in a better mood, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna get degraded like that for 250, 500 on a good day. Fucking, I'll suck anything. You know what I mean? Let's do it, but. 250 is my minimum probably, and it depends on a lot of factors. How they ask me, are they being dicks about it, or are they kind of schmoozing me up? It depends on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'd say that's my range, though.
I'd go $500,000. Yeah, I think $500,000. I think I'd do it for $500,000.
I mean, because that's... And I mean, listen, maybe if they open that briefcase and I'm in the moment and this was a real scenario and there's $100K there, like maybe I would. It's hard to know for real. I like to think I have enough dignity to be like, no, dude, come on, give me like at least $250,000. Like, what do I look like here? You know what I mean? But you start flashing those greens and he starts making it rain on me, you know what I mean? It might, I might change my mind real quick. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, $100K isn't like crazy to me. Like I wouldn't do it for $100K because I'd like the mental health effects after would be just catastrophic.
You just put it back into therapy. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
And I think I need more.
there wouldn't be any gain. Just put it back into fucking.
It's like
therapy.
But I wouldn't. It would be like a $10,000. Like I gross that much. You know what I mean? Because like I put like $90K in it. So I got to think like okay, $500,000. All right, like I buy. Okay, I probably should go $750. I'll buy my mom a house. All right, for $250. And I have a job, so.
Bro, what kind of house you getting for $250?
Let's say $400. Arizona, Chandler, 2-story, 3-bedroom, pretty nice. Okay. So we'll go $300 there. Put a down payment. It's a down payment, not fully bought off. Put the down payment there. Okay, come on, Jackson. We have jobs. We don't sit on Discord the whole day. Okay, so.
Bro, I would love to do that if they throw $500 at me. I'd take a couple years off work.
But okay, so
don't pretend you wouldn't, brother. Don't pretend you wouldn't.
Right, so $300,000 I put down for a house.
Yep.
Then what we're left with?
Very.
So then we're left with
benevolent of you.
200,000, right? Let's say about 60,000 goes into therapy. All right, 60, 70,000 goes into therapy.
Yep. Minimum.
Say now we're at let's just say we're at 225 now. Let's call that 770. Let's call that 75K goes into therapy. All right, we're at 225 now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually probably just fully pay off the house, so I'm going to put myself at 125 now. So I'll go 400,000 on the house fully paid off. So we're at 125, and then I'll just go travel the world, like do whatever the fuck I want. But now let's up the ante a bit. Now what happens if that video gets publicized and you're like the Mr. Hands, you know?
Zero.
Zero. Yeah, I'm at
zero. Fucking. It's not happening.
You could've given me a
it's not
bill,
happening.
Like I don't want to be Mr. Hands, you know?
And isn't that fucked up about our society that we care more about what other people think of us than what we care about what we think about ourselves? That's just
Oh my fuck,
twisted.
for real.
That's
Oh
just
my fuck,
twisted.
yeah. Girl, you go be you. You go do what you want and go get that bread. Per.
Oh my God, Rohan, there's this absolute zaddy over there in the window.
All right.
Stop what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we are at an hour. Jackson has to go suck on some prosthetic titties at some prosthetic sizey titties in 10 minutes. And I gotta go get Chipotle. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching this week's episode. I am really hoping there was no audio issues with this week's episode. Anyways, if you guys are new here, if you see one of our clips, whatever the case may be, if you've even made it this far, thank you. Make sure you guys go like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Instagram, follow all of our personal shit. We post stand-up comedy there. We're going to start posting a lot more clips. Just our fucking job's been kicking our ass recently. So, anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Jackson, anything else?
Nah, man. Just the usual, tip your male masseuse. Have some dignity. Don't take money for sexual favors. And, be good to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Have a good weekend.
Facts. All right. Anyways, make sure, guys, one more thing. If you guys have anything you want to DM us, DM it to us. It is funny. We really enjoy doing that bit. We're going to start off all of our bits either with that
100%.
or with how our white woman in a pickle this week. That's going to be our new thing. Hopefully we can start moving. Hopefully once, our fucking jobs are a little easier, we can fucking start moving and doing 2 episodes a week, which will be really fun. Right now we're just, maintaining comedy and all that stuff. But DM us scenarios. I do not care if they're old, how fabricated, whatever. Just DM it to us. We're going to do it every week. Anyways, thank you guys for watching In the Bank Podcast. Make sure you guys like whatever you're listening on. And we will see you guys next time. Go suck on a giant titty.